Brought to you by Covered California.
There is a new way to shed some pounds using gold. It is liposuction, and the gold helps melt away the pounds. The procedure is actually being developed here in San Diego, so let's talk more about this with Dr. Sabrina Fabi. Dr. Fabi, I think this is so interesting. One, lipo in general has always people interested in how it works, but we're talking here about using gold.
I know, another reason why gold is great, right?
Yeah.
Who says it doesn't, it hurts? So with gold, what we're seeing, and it's a very interesting concept, we're actually seeing it applied in different fields of medicine. But with lipo, it's interesting because the fat cells are taking up these gold nanoparticles very quickly. And when they do take them up, what they're doing is heating up those fat cells with lasers, which we use in the practice every day. These lasers are able to heat up those nanoparticles very selectively, breaking up the fat cell, allowing the fat to come out rather quickly. So you're able to basically cut the time of a liposuction procedure in half.
And I was doing a little bit of research that lipo, while it's very popular, isn't always the most successful, if you will, in terms of helping people slim down, but using the gold is actually making the procedure more successful.
Right, because classically with liposuction, we were using general anesthesia and these large cannulas like you're seeing here on the monitor that were the size of a pen to take out the fat, and that sometimes left people with irregularities, bruising and scarring. We've moved on to something called tumescent liposculpture, which we do in the practice, where just with a little local anesthesia and little cannulas the size of Q-tips, you can take out the fat, which minimizes those risks. But now with the thought of injecting those gold nanoparticles into the fat, you may be able to even take out the fat with needles, minimizing a lot of risk, a lot of downtime, and a lot of scarring.
That is incredible. Okay, I feel kind of silly asking this, but because we're using gold, does that mean that the lipo procedure is going to cost more than just, say, a typical one?
I know, hopefully it's not 14 karat gold.
Right.
But we don't know. Right now, they're just doing the animal studies. Human studies are not even anticipated to come out until 2017. So there's no real price point, but I would expect it to be a little bit more expensive because how much of this particle do you need to have the impact that you need to have?
Right. All right. I want to ask you one last thing about, you mentioned this earlier in the interview about other techniques or practices that you guys use gold in. Can you explain some of those?
Yeah, so another very common condition affects 80% of the US population is acne. So stubborn, people don't want to be on any oral antibiotics for it, always coming in to look for laser options. But the problem is that the oil secreting gland that really stimulates and causes acne is such a hard gland to target. And so just like fat, it's a fat-like cell, and it's taking up these gold nanoparticles, allowing the lasers to actually be able to selectively destroy the oil gland and also improve acne. So we're using it for that. We're also using it for laser hair removal in lighter hair types because that's always been a stubborn problem for our lighter hair types. We just don't have a target to use for laser hair removal, and now with the gold nanoparticles we do have a target.
So interesting, and you guys actually are doing some studies with that right now. Dr. Fabi, thank you so much. We appreciate your insight on this very luxurious lipo option.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well.